It is that time of the year again. League 6 is coming to Oldschool Runescape on April 15th. We have so many changes since the last time around. So in this video I will go over every single detail, and the next 15 minutes will be more of a generic guideline you should follow during or before the leagues. So if you're a first timer or if you don't care about doing your own research, this video is for you. Let's not waste any more time and jump right in. If you've never played leagues before, let me give you a quick rundown on how things work. The goal of this temporary game mode is to complete tasks that give you points, and then you can spend those points to unlock relics and regions. League 6, just like every other league in the future, will be region locked, and your starting point this time won't be Mistalin. Instead, it will be Varlamore. On top of that, the players will also get access to Karamja a few hours in, and then you can choose 3 extra regions to unlock, which gives you 5 in total. Keep in mind, once you pick your regions, they are locked until the end. And since this temporary game mode lasts for almost 2 months, make sure you get the right choices depending on your playstyle. And don't worry, I will cover all of that later on in this video. If you're a sweaty player, want to AFK while working, or just do casual playstyle, there is something for everyone. Just like in last leagues, echo bosses will also make a comeback. Every region will have its own unique echo boss that will give you powerful weapons and armor pieces. Echo bosses are basically a stronger version of an already existing boss in that region. To access echo bosses, you first have to kill the normal version of that boss until you get the echo token. Once you activate this token, it will grant you infinite access to that specific echo boss. For example, the starting region Varlamore will have Echo Amoxiadol, and that drops a powerful item that combines 3 Nagua weapons into one. It will be the absolute perfect starter weapon if you're planning to go melee route. Everything in League 6 will be boosted. You get faster experience, you get more drops, and its basic goal is to fill you with that sweet dopamine rush where your character becomes much more powerful than in the main game. If you wanted to practice content with zero risk, if you want to fight new bosses we don't have in the main game, or if you just wanted to see tons of level ups, this game mode is for you. So let's talk about relics, regions, tasks, combat styles, and what your goal should be in these leagues. But before we dive deep into that, I want to show you some RuneScape merchandise. I am once again partnering with Creator Crafted. They bring RuneScape to life by offering many different products like desk mats, LED signs, statues, pins, and much more. Currently they stocked up on brand new vibrant desk mats with plenty of different styles to choose from, and it's available right now in both standard and extra wide sizes. My personal favorite is the Desert Treasure 2 desk mat. It looks absolutely amazing and I just love the art style. On top of that, Creator Crafted has introduced Barrows pin sets. There's only 100 of these available in stock, so make sure to get them before they sell out. If you're looking to get something for yourself or someone close to you, this is a great time to buy some quality RuneScape merchandise. There's a link in the description. Use my code KriibusFC to get 10% off on your next purchase. Okay, let's continue. When you first log in, you'll spawn in Yama's lair that will be the main hub of these leagues. You are presented with 3 starter relics, so let's briefly go over these and explain them one by one. First one is Endless Harvest. Every resource you gather will be sent to bank. We currently have 5 gathering skills in the game, so doing farm runs, fishing, hunter, mining, woodcutting, everything will be automatically sent to bank, and you can toggle this effect on and off. Second part of this relic is even better. You can endlessly gather from fishing spots, trees, and mining rocks even if they deplete. So let's say you get 85 mining. You can just click on a runite rock once and it will endlessly send runite ore into your bank even if the rock depletes. This is amplified even further because all resources from fishing, woodcutting, and mining are multiplied by 2 and you gain experience for both of them. So let's say you pick something like Rend as one of your regions. After you get 82 fishing, you can come here to Pescatoris, buy sandworms and fishing rod, and you just plant your character here to AFK thousands of anglerfish for you. It's an excellent first pick relic if you don't want to pay much attention and just get those starter points in. Getting 99 woodcutting, fishing, mining with almost 0 effort gives you thousands of points, and that allows you to unlock more relics and regions later on. I cannot wait to see someone click on a redwood tree at 90 woodcutting, go to sleep, and then wake up 6 hours later with 99 woodcutting. Absolute cinema. Second relic choice for tier 1 is also similar. It's called Barbarian Gathering, and upon choosing this relic, you will get a new item called Knapsack. This allows you to store 3 different types of items inside, from logs, ores, or fish, and it has 140 capacity. Best part about this relic is that you can now chop wood, catch fish, and mine ore with your bare hands, and your hands essentially work as a crystal equipment, which is the most powerful version we have in Oldschool Runescape. On top of that, whenever you get fishing, mining and wood cutting experience while gathering, you also receive 10% of that experience in agility and strength. Overall, a very solid choice for casual players who are looking to benefit a lot from resource gathering. And the final starter relic, my personal favorite, is Abundance. And this one is very simple. All non-combat skills permanently have +10 boost. Every time you receive experience, you gain additional 2 experience in the same skill. This is also affected by League's passive experience modifier. And for every experience gained, you also gain 2 times as many coins. You can toggle this on and off to either be sent to bank or to your inventory. Now, the best way to present this is showcasing a meme graphic of what I think RuneScape players would choose. At the start of this graphic, you have the absolute chillest players out there who will pick Abundance Relic. People who don't want to think about any decision and just want to have a very casual, smooth journey throughout the next 2 months. The top of the graphic are all the people who are gonna pick Eternal Harvest and Barbarian Training. This is gonna make up roughly 80% of the player base. And on the other side of the graphic, we have the absolute tryhards who will also pick Abundance, but for completely different reasons. Personally, why I like Abundance so much is because unlike the other 2 choices, it affects all 23 skills. The temporary boost allows me to craft items and complete tasks way sooner than I otherwise would. Like for example, let's say there is a 200-point task to pickpocket a diamond from Char Har. You need 90 thieving to complete this task normally, but with Abundance Relic, I can now complete this task at level 80 thieving. And this can be applied to so many other skills. Varlamore is our starting region, and that means minigames like Mastering Mixology, Totem Fletching, Hunter Rumors, Citizen Pickpocketing, they're all skill requirements. Having that permanent +10 boost means I can access these places much sooner, and that also means I unlock all my relics and other locations faster. But I still think most players will prefer the other 2 options. Oldschool League's Discord server made a poll and only 20% of the people picked Abundance. So that also aligns with this meme graphic I made where 80% of the players are on top of this mountain, and then you have 10% of players on one side and 10% of players on the other side that will pick Abundance. So I want you to think about what you as a player want to do and what is the best option for you. Is it AFK? Is it casual active gameplay over the course of 2 months? Are you doing sweaty grinds for longer periods of time? Do you care more about money or resources? Are you playing for Dragon Trophy or just to have fun, and so on? As soon as you figure out your main goal this leagues, you'll have much easier time picking your relics. And I was saying, out of all the leagues we've had, I've never seen tier 1 relics be this balanced. I don't think there is one clear winner, but rather just personal preference. But okay, let's briefly go over every region, what they offer, and changes compared to last time around. First thing to keep in mind is that unlike in previous leagues, this time every single region gives roughly the same amount of points. There is small point variance depending on combat achievements in different regions, but it will feel much better making choices knowing that you're not gonna miss out on points. Secondly, there's a lot of combo drops in different regions. For example, something like Alchemical Hydra drops full items rather than just the components. So you get Ferocious Gloves instead of Hydra Leather, Dragon Hunter Lance instead of Hydra's Claw, and Bone Crusher Necklace instead of Hydra's Tail. And this applies to every region bosses. All the Desert Treasure Tube bosses drop full Soul Reaper Axe and full rings instead of components. Salra will drop Toxic Trident instead of Magic Fang. If you pick Fremenic, you can just get the Avas Assembler drop instead of Vorkat's Head, and so on. So when you're making a decision, know that all the drops that require multiple regions to unlock will now just come from a single boss. Overall, the best combination is oftentimes picking one raid region, whether that is Desert, Kurend or Mauritania, and then combine that together with 2 other regions. Like a really good combination I've seen from casual players is Kurend or Desert because it offers multitude of different activities alongside with a raid, and then combine that with something like Tiran 1, Wilderness, Fremenic or Ascarnia. The reason you don't need multiple raid regions is because in leagues there is an item called Mega Rare Voucher that can be obtained in all 3 raids, and this item allows you to pick any of the Mega Rare weapons. So let's say you pick Desert. You have a really powerful character and you want to try out Tombs of a Mascot. Once you start completing expert level raids, your chances of getting purple unique drops will go up to 100%. And once you get this Mega Rare Voucher, you can pick either Sight, Twisted Bow or Shadow depending on which combat style you picked. For example, I don't want want to do Mauritania for Theatre of Blood, but I still want to go melee route. This voucher allows me to get a sight from other raids without picking Mauritania. Other than that, a general rule many players go by is combining their first relic with their first region. So let's say you pick Eternal Harvest to look for that AFK training experience. You probably want to pick a region that has many woodcutting, mining and fishing options. In that case, something like Rend is a great choice because it has woodcutting guild, multiple fishing areas with different level requirements and almost every mining rock in the game. On the other hand, if you're looking to get into combat immediately, something like Mauritania is probably a great option to go with, especially if you're planning to combine that with Culling Spree Slayer Relic. You can even go with the Run one as your first region unlock, and that's what I did in previous leagues. Once you unlock the region, you auto-complete a Song of the Elves quest and immediately get access to Prifddinas, so you can start doing Gauntlet, Salgano, maybe even Salra and few other activities on day 1. If you're planning to go magic route, Kandarin looks much better this league than in previous ones. Jagex heavily expanded on the elemental weakness side of magic, and Kandarin Echo Boss will once again be Thermonuclear Smoke Devil, and this one drops offhand the elemental shield that buffs your magic attacks, and it will also drop a new staff that works really well with elemental weaknesses. Overall, there is a fine balance between combining relics and regions, but also understanding what kind of content you can do, and also what kind of content you wanna do. Now, since we're already in the topic of content, let me briefly explain how multipliers work and why you shouldn't slow yourself down with certain content on day 1. I've seen this happen so many times with inexperienced players. They want to start with PvM as soon as they hop into League's servers, because that's the most fun part about this temporary game mode. So they start immediately training their combat. But I think that's not the best way to go about it, and it all has to do with experience multipliers. As you unlock more relics and gain more points, your experience multiplier also goes up. So it is recommended to start doing easy skilling tasks before you get into PvM that anyone can complete, and then you can get your combat experience multiplier. For example, tier 1 has a 5x experience multiplier, but tier 2 has 8 experience multiplier, and it will take you just a couple of hours to get there. Now you get tier 5 and your multiplier goes to 12x, and this can be easily unlocked in just few days. So ideally, when you first log in, you want to look for easy tasks to do in Varlamore that don't have high skill requirements, and get to that tier 2 relic unlock without committing too much into skilling or combat. Last leagues we had tons of forestry points just waiting to be picked up, and Jagex did something great this time around, where forestry events are 3 times more likely to spawn for everyone. Something else I noticed is that beginner glues will absolutely dump out points if you only have desert unlocked. There is total of 4 completable beginner glue steps with only desert access, and combining that with something like glue relic means that you are guaranteed to get the most amount of glue rewards. You can easily complete over 100 beginner glues every hour because one casket takes approximately 20 to 30 seconds to obtain. But you will get to a point where you have to choose a route. Usually that means one combat style and sticking to it. So knowing what combat style to pick in leagues is very important decisions. Best way to think about it is this: if you just want to turn your brain off and one-shot everything, I would go with magic. With all the buffs magic has received, with the Eye of Ayak and Confliction Gauntlets being available in the starting region, with the magic relic usually being the strongest individual option, you can't really go wrong with this combat style. Secondly, if you're not certain what regions to pick, I would recommend going with ranged. It's the only combat style that can work in every single region. This is what I picked last leagues. I just wasn't sure what my plan was. I picked ranged and I didn't regret it. Every region had some good ranging options. The Run one had full crystal, Desert had full Masori, Ascarnia had Sarak crossbow, and if all else failed, Twisted Bow just one-shot everything anyways. And finally, melee usually has the biggest DPS weapons in leagues. There are some crazy combos you can do oftentimes that make you deal hundreds of damage every few seconds. So if you're looking for the best and biggest damage output, melee is the way to go about it. Before I end the video, I do want to give you a couple of resources that I put in the description so you'll have a better time during leagues. First things first, there is a website that gives precise countdown on when League 6 will start, and I will put the link in the description so you can keep a track of that. Secondly, there is a RuneLite plugin called Task Tracker. You can essentially create your own custom route in this plugin, and it will show you exactly where to go and when to go. You can also share this route with your friends or anyone else. There's also a website with interactive world map planning tool that enhances all the necessary items and monsters you put on the task list. Next up, it's less of a planning tool, but rather just a very cool, dedicated leaderboard for all leagues combined. It showcases everyone's league's points data from the past years, and it has a global scoreboard and combined point threshold between all leagues. So if you want to see the history of leagues and how previous versions held up, once again, I'll put the link in the description. And finally, to end the video off, if you want some cool RuneScape merchandise from Creator Crafted, there is a link in the description for that as well. Just make sure you use my code KriibusFC to get 10% off on your next purchase. But I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a few days with another leaks guide. Bye!